Hi, I'm Sylvia Yu. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Inspiring You with Sylvia Yu. I am joined today by Jihyun Park, and she is someone who deeply inspires me. Jihyun is a survivor. She escaped the North Korean regime. She has been through the unspeakable torture, famine, crossing the Gobi Desert, trafficking, and she is now an inspiring voice for North Korean women. She has also written a book with her co-author, Seh-Lynn Chai, The Hard Way Out. Am I pronouncing it? The Hard Road Out. And it's a powerful book. You must get it. So Jihyun, welcome. 안녕하세요. It's
안녕하세요.
great to see you. Great to meet you. You and I have corresponded on LinkedIn, but we've never spoken on video, and it's great. It's great to see you in over Zoom rather. How are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you.
So you are now in the UK with your husband and three sons, and it was quite an
Two
ordeal.
sons and
Oh,
one daughter, yeah.
okay, two sons and a daughter. It was quite an ordeal to get out of North Korea. Can you tell us a little bit about why you felt motivated to get out and how hard was that journey?
That every year in February is during this time is that I was really heartbreaking, and every night I have these bad dreams because it's I escaped North Korea twice. Is the first one was in 1998 in February. So 18th February when I left home, we abandoned my illness father alone in cold dining room, and then we went to the border areas. It's journey is 4 days. So then 22nd 2 days, we crossed the Tumon River with my younger brother and my sister.
Did
Because
you swim? Did you swim through the?
that times it's North and China is really cold country, so that time the river is frozen. But we almost crossed the border after that is it's ice is just is broken, and then that we happened we just is this is cold water. I think the people can't imagine. Yeah, all bodies just is iced. So first escape was is my father's the last wish was that is save my younger brother. So that's why we abandoned my illness father, and I still don't know that when my father passed away and where he's buried. Yeah. So this month, February is really painful and heartbreaking month for me.
I'm so sorry. So once you crossed over into China, then you were separated from your brother, right? In 1998. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, when we first crossed the border and we didn't know that any information of what's happened in China. And that time is North Korea was famine and 3 million people died of starvations. My uncle also died of starvations in front of me. Yeah, and my students too. So we hope to survive, so in China, but we didn't know any information. So we didn't know the Chinese language, and we didn't know that China is maybe good rich country or poor country. We didn't know because North Korea government always controlled our information from outside the countries to inside North Korea. So once we crossed the border, we found that one is a house because the daylight is on. The reasons that's when we cross the border is halfway, and after that is North Korean soldiers find out to us, and they shouted and gunfire to us. So it's someone is wake up, and then he just is light on. So we knocked this door because we already is our body is wet and we really freezing. That is February.
Wow.
So we went to this house, and he gave to us warm, the really nice meals, white rice and eggs and meat. So it was really special to us in North Korea. We only white rice is when Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il's birthday we eat. And then we never eat this white rice. But this person gave to us this white rice. So I was really thankful, but then he told me that this is not a safe places because it's already gunfire from North Korea. So could be Chinese police came to early mornings. So you have to move. So he contacted his friend, but his friend was a human traffickers, But we didn't know. We didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So once we moved to his friend's house, and then he told me that you have married. He mentioned the married, but that is not married. He sold me is the farmer, and then we separated. My younger brother. So after that is my younger brother sent back to North Korea, and I still don't know that he's survived or not.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So was a broker with you? A broker brought you over into China, right?
Yes.
And
No,
then
no, first time is not. First time is not. We crossed the border ourselves because it's a first time we didn't know that it's broker or something that. Yeah. So second time is different, but the first time is not.
Yes. And it was such a common story because of the famine. People were crossing into China to find food and to bring back the food for their family
Yes,
members.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm so sorry that you were forced into marriage with the farmer, and I remember you told me that he gave you slippers to wear because he didn't want you to escape. Um, can you describe what that was like and just how long you were there and with this quote unquote farmer husband, as much as you're able to share?
Yeah, so the I sold to is east north in China, not is the Korean is the Chinese Korean places. That is lot of is Chinese people and some just only small is Chinese Korean places. It's a farmer and also they have got mountain places. So there is really cold and lots of snow, but they not give to me any proper clothes or shoes because they already bought me and they borrowed money somebody and they bought me. So they is all families look like me is only sex slavers and also workers. They never accept me, they family members. So this place is not only me, is I have got 5 different North Korean females. They also is a human trafficking sold to them.
With the
So
same husband?
not different husband, but it's
Okay,
different.
right.
It's same town, same town. So when we met outside, we couldn't speak each other's because it's a family members always control to us. So we didn't eye contact, we didn't speak to each other's. So they always, all neighbors, every time they look after to us. What did we do? Or the everything is so
Always watching you, always watching and suspicious,
so
right? Yes.
so it is the same as is North Korea presence. The North Korea life is always kind of a prison life, and the China is the same, is a prison life.
It was prison
So
for you and the North Korean women. Oh, and there is a shortage of 20 million men in China, and that's why there has been increasing numbers of women from other countries, neighboring countries, trafficked and sold as brides into these forced marriages. Just sharing for the audience who may not be familiar with the context of what Jihyun was sold into. So Jihyun, tell me more about how you got out. How did you escape?
in China,
Yes, the first time. How did you escape this forced marriage?
I didn't escape. There is the first the few months is life was slavery. I was really ashamed because I was in North Korea, graduated university, and I knew some Chinese characters better than this is original Chinese people. You know, some Chinese Koreans, they can't write their name and they don't know it's most Chinese words, but I was better than to them. But they always destroyed for me, and that they always look for me is not human. It's that I was kind of is animals. Yeah. So I wanted to suicide for myself because I lost my illness father, I lost my younger brother, so nothing. I had nothing in there. But after I found out that I was pregnant, so this baby is. I want to change my mind. This baby is my last family, and could be this baby is give to me another chance and hope. So then I want to change my mind. But China is still the same as is North Korea, and the same is the country, is a communism country. So China also not allowed this child born in China. So they told me that you have to abandon this child because we are not accept your child in China. I just is I think that is my life is the first time is I just is denied it to them. Before I never complained, but I told to them, no, that is my child.
Who
So
told you
after
that? Who told you your child has to be
um,
abandoned?
in China and North Korea, they have got similar systems. So in village, they have got a female captain,
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So she came to me and she told me that. So then I just denied it, and then I wearing the big clothes because nobody find out that's my fragrance. And then I worked until when my child was born.
Oh, yes. You're so strong. And the children who are born to North Korean women and to Chinese farmers are stateless and they're not
Yes, yeah.
eligible for medical care or to the compulsory education system. And actually, most of these children are bound at home and they
Yeah.
live in homes where the windows are shuttered as virtual prisoners. So Jihyun, what then happened? What happened next after you gave birth to this child?
Yeah, and then that I was strong. I was strong. I never
You are.
talked about. Yeah, yeah. That I never talked about myself. I only talked about my son. But that when my son was born, but I didn't go to hospital. Birth is myself. And nobody helped me. It is my first child, and that I was
Wow.
pained 12 hours. It's almost dead, but. After when my son is the holding when my hand, I was really happy. This happy moment I never forget that because it's finally I have family. I
Oh,
have family.
Jihyun.
But
And you were,
when
oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, but my son was born, and after 3 months passed, and then the Chinese farmer one day Chinese farmer came to home. He was drunk, and then he told me that he wanted to sold my son
Oh, how old was your
because
son at that time? He was a
that time
baby.
is just only 100 days past. Yeah, 100 days.
There
Small
is
piece. Yeah.
there is a big demand for children in China.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Because he left lots of is gambling money. So he wanted to sold my son. So that when I heard this word, after I stand up and holding the knife, and then I just shouted this man, if you touched my son, I wanted to kill you. It is my first fightings in my life.
It's the mother's protectiveness, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you didn't know you had that within you.
Yes, yeah, I didn't know. I
Oh,
didn't know. Yeah.
and
And
12
then
hours of labor, Jihyun. And you
yes.
how so you cut your own umbilical cord?
No, because I was North Korean, so I never because it's a Chinese it's a hospital never allowed me. So I
Oh,
didn't get
okay.
any medicine. Yeah.
Oh, so you were in a hospital, in a Chinese hospital when you
No,
gave birth?
no,
No, you didn't.
no, no, I
You,
didn't.
where did you give birth?
Just in a home, just a
In the
home.
home.
Yes,
And
yeah.
you did everything by yourself. No one helped you.
No one helped me. They never helped me. They never helped me. And
Oh,
when I after birth, and this is man's mother, she not to give me any warm. It's the soup. Yeah, it's nobody helped me. It was still the cold in March. In China, is the east north, yeah,
it's
Dongbei
very
is
cold
very
in
cold areas.
northeast,
Yeah.
northwest China. So tell me what is your son's name and then what happened?
Yeah, so then I call it him is iron. Yes, it's a
Oh,
strong person. Yeah, because I knew that is China life is really difficult both to us because I was the no kind of is registered in China, so that's why my son was the statelessness.
mm,
So could be he grow up and he didn't get any medical is service and he didn't go school. So I want to give to him names Chol is iron, strong life.
it's beautiful. And then when did you decide to leave? How did you end up escaping that situation?
It's not escape. The every day I was really hard work with my child in the kind of self business made is the kimchi or the Korean is dishes, and I also grow up with the beans proud in home
Mm,
and sold in outside.
mm.
But in China, is usually repatriated to North Korean people. They're not allowed to us refugee. So one day is the 10 Chinese authorities came to my house and they arrested me in front of my child, and then they sent back to me North Korea. So I just separated my 5 years old child. So he alone in China and I sent back to North Korea.
And most people don't survive imprisonment in North Korea, but you did. Can you describe how you were able to get out miraculously?
Yeah, I know it's I also almost dead in prison because it's the we always work in mountains and also it's a farmer side without the shoes. So my leg was swollen and there is affected some kind of virus. So my head changed, the body changed. So I almost dead. So that's why it's the prisoners kick out me. But
Yeah.
when I stayed in prison, the lack of food condition is really lack. But I never talked about the food or something that I only talked about my son.
Oh,
One day I want to reunite my son, and then because I am mother, I want to responsibility my child's future. So that is a strength, is kind of courage it saved me in prison, and then I escaped to North Korea again after united my son. Yeah.
so your son was your inspiration. Your son helped you
Yes.
survive, gave you the
Yes, yeah.
will
My
to
son is
live,
yeah,
gave you the will
yeah.
to live.
Mhm.
And then what happened next? You decided to go back into China. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, second time is different in first time because it's the first time is we didn't find that it's a human trafficking is
Yeah.
brokers in North Korea. But 5 years after, North Korea was totally changed. They have got a lot of smugglers. They just kidnap the girls and also women and they selling to China.
Mm.
It was painful, but I had no choice. My condition was really bad, and my son is with me in China, so I have no choice. So second time is myself human trafficking to China, and then I told the broker I was human trafficking to China myself
How did
because that
that,
is
how did you do that?
because it's a broker usually find out that is the females, but they usually is welcome to that is somebody who is already escaped once. because the China and North Korea system is the same. Is a government system is the same. It's a communism country, but is China is a lot of food is different in North Korea. So somebody who already escaped North Korea and then they want to escape again. So that's why brokers usually find that is kind of for me. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Then,
But this is also really dangerous. Dangerous. That we can't trust is 100% to them. Could be they just is a police spies or something that. So we always be careful. Yeah, just find out that.
And then when did you reunite with your son?
I reunited my son is because his second time was 2004, but reunited my son is 2005. But when I met my son, my heart breaking because my son was look like that is street child.
Oh.
Because their family members never care about my son. So he wore dirty clothes and he didn't eat properly in a house because they never gave to him is kind of warm meals. So he usually find that his meal in church areas, just only once a meal. I was heartbreaking, but another hand is I was really happy because my son is now is in my arms.
Oh,
In my arms,
yes.
yeah.
And when he asked you, why did you leave me, mommy? How did you respond?
No, that is not that times.
Oh,
That
it's not
is
that time.
he asked me in the UK when he was 12. Yeah.
So after that, then what happened? How did you escape with the help of the United Nations? How did that come about?
Yeah, I knew that is China and North Korea is not is a safe places and could be second time could be I repatriated to North Korea. I can survive, and then I never see my son again. So I wanted to leave this country. So before in North Korea prison, I got it many informations how people is go to South Korea. Also, lots of informations I got. Yeah, so I wanted to go South Korea, but our journey was always failed because we are no kind of passport, because we also statelessness adult, so we are no passport, so we couldn't go to inside the South Korea embassy because outside there's Chinese police and they check always our passport. So we failed many areas, Qingdao, Shenyang, and also Beijing too. Then after in Beijing, we met the nine North Korean people, and we decided that we went to Mongolia because it's Ulaanbaatar. They have got another South Korean embassy, but we didn't know where is the Ulaanbaatar and how did we is cross the border. So we catch it first and went to the Mongol, and then we crossed the Chinese border. But that border is really strong. That is China is made 2 meters really strong fencer. So we just cut off the fencer and everyone is run. But because it's usually Chinese, it's police car is up down. So everyone is run out. But me and my son is still in Chinese border areas. After we found that it's a Chinese police car came to us. It was a really scared moment. But that time somebody is also rescued to us, and then we crossed the border. But in Mongolia, we stayed in border areas 3 days, but we didn't find any persons. So we lost all. Water is gone, food is gone, and we almost dead. First is my son. So I decided that I can't die in this desert. So we crossed the border again and stayed in China 2 years. And after American pastor helped to me and sent to the United Nations. And then I chose England because that time I didn't know what is the United Nations meanings. I never heard that is United Nations. So that's why first time I couldn't trust to them if our South Korea journey is success or not. So that's why I chose England because America, South Korea is enemy in North Korea, but England is not enemy. So could be we failed this journey. Could be I thought that only risks less than South Korea or America journeys.
So Jihyun, it is incredible. You crossed the Gobi Desert. You went across and then you came back to go back to
Yes.
Beijing. How did you survive that? Did you have enough
Oh.
water and food? How did you survive that?
Oh yeah, it's adult is could be okay, but it's my son is first. Yeah. So I had no choice. I couldn't wait to them because it's, we don't know that when is people came out to us. So I survived in prison. That the reasons that's my son. So I didn't. He's died in this desert. So I crossed the border. I know that it could be this cross the border meanings. One hand is death, one hand is hope. But I believe that's a hope. I believe that's hope.
So how did you get settled in the UK? Is that where you met your husband?
I met my husband is in China and Mongolia border areas because he also North Korean refugee. So we met in Beijing. So when we crossed the border, everyone's run out, and me and my son is still border areas. Then we found out that is a Chinese police cars came to us. So I was really scared. It could be this time is I repatriated North Korea, could be I was executions in North Korea. But that time is some man is came to us and he rescues to us. He just is my son is back and holding my hand, and then we crossed the border, second Chinese border, and then after arrived in Mongolia. So I was failing to love. It's first time is females love to man. So that is my husband.
Oh,
He rescues to us.
so wow, that is very beautiful, Jihyun. So you recently ran for office in the UK where you live now. Can you tell me more about why you ran for politics and are you going to run again?
Um, because it's, when I arrived in the UK, I didn't speak any English, and we haven't got any relatives in the UK. So first time was really hard, but it's my neighbors and also my towns always help to us. They find the translator, and if it could be we had problems, they come to us quickly and solving problems. So always helped me. But myself, human rights activities is first 5 years. So I didn't care much more about this our town areas because there was born in here, they have got relatives everywhere. But after in 2020 when this COVID is happened, and everyone is stayed at home, they can't meet families each others, and in TV every day is announced that is how many innocent people died of COVID-19. So it was really, really painful for me, really painful, because in North Korea I already lost our innocent people. Yeah. So then I just thought about what did I do? How can I help to them? So then I just mask. That time is England is really lack of masks, it's because it's first COVID. So I just donations is care homes, because that time is really weakness in care home areas. Young also old people instead there. So it's care homes. I donations. This is masks in Manchester areas, and after they said that refugees came to my country and now they help us to us. So this message is changed my life. Or could be somebody needs our helps and our voices. So I thought that, okay, this times I want to repay back, because they will come to me in the United Kingdom and they give to me everything. It's opportunities, happiness, freedoms. So I want to repay back to that. So that's why I want to start it is politics, because politics is not different. Is the work is including the all humans, including the all. So that is why I started my politics.
Well, if you can survive famine, you can do well in politics, Jihyun. You will go very far. Will you run again?
Yes, I want to run again. And there's most people think about that is a survivor or victims really weakness and educate lessness person. But I'm just showing to them survivors are stronger than yours, and the survivors must understand what is the freedom meanings. Yes, so that's why I have learned histories every day. The lots of reading book and listening. Yeah, because I know that we are our education is really limited, but this country is always give us a chance. Yeah.
And you met King Charles recently.
Oh yes,
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing, amazing. That in North Korea is the Kimbap is a dictators, is a kind of God and the son, and we didn't talked about it. We met to them, it's because they always controlled our mind and they keep to us in presence. But so when I went to the Buckingham Palace, first time I was really nervous. uh, because I I thought that how can I is it my actions or gestures or something that's but the inside people is really lively and the people is really relaxed. So it was the first shocking for me. But
Oh,
the
wow.
second is royal families came to us, but they never is the kind of is it's dictators. They just is a kind of is neighbors,
Yeah.
communications, each other's smiles, chat, and also it's the King Charles III. King Charles III also came to us. They holding our hand and the communication. Oh my God, that is really amazing, really amazing.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. Um, Tell me about your message on behalf of North Korean women. What is the message
um,
that you want the world to know?
Yeah, I know that is still the my North Korean women and girls. They don't understand what is women's rights because it's North Korea. They will accept this world and also they don't know the much more about the family. The same as me when I lived in North Korea, I did understand what is family meanings and what is happiness meanings. So my now is the my work. I don't know that I can't could be changed inside North Korea systems because it's I am still the person, but I could be changed the person to person, because it's UK saved my family, so that's why now is I am happy. So my dream is the same. I could be save one person, save one family, because that is save the world, save the world. Yeah. So I just is the that my voice still show to them how is women's lives in outside countries, how women is powerful, how women is beautiful. I just is show to them my is an experience my life because this is the better than his voice. So that's why every day I learned my English with my family's happiness times, shopping together, and also communication under people. It is all over its messages. That is messages, not only voice. It's before I thought that it could be is we is changed North Korea. I said lots of that, but now is I want to change my mind. Show to them, yeah, change the mind themselves. That is quickly changed our country people.
Yeah, that is really incredible that this transformation in your mindset happened in the UK. Can you describe what life is like for North Korean women? Just describe a little bit for the viewers who
Yeah,
are not familiar.
I want to say that is a North Korea women's life is the North Korea government put to us in prison, and they just is brainwashed to us, and also they kept our mind. We are living in prison. They always talked about. So our life is always talked about, oh, we are present, because life is the same thing, slavery life. So nobody opened these doors. Somebody opened doors is outside. So people is, the many people can't demand it, don't know this brainwash meanings. So North Korean women is the same thing. Oh, we stayed in prison. They just kept mind here. So that's why they did not open the door is themselves. So
How
that is
can,
really painful.
uh, sorry, you said it was really painful. It's painful for a
Yeah,
lot of
painful
women.
and yeah, heartbreaking because I am also woman, female mother, but I wear clothes every day, different clothes, makeup, the perfume is different perfumes every times, watch it different, what they read different books, lots of free times.
Yeah.
But my country women never know about this.
And there may be another famine. There's food shortages inside North
Still,
Korea
yes, yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah.
And yet there's the Jangmadang, the
Mhm.
black market where it's trickling in some of the South Korean K dramas and some illegal products like lipsticks and different things. It's sort of trickling in, isn't it, through a lot of women entrepreneurs, apparently.
Yes, yeah, that's happened before the is COVID, before the COVID, but always North Korea government controlled to them. So they're selling these products not legal. They always illegal, hide somewhere, and listen to the South Korean music or watch the South Korea drama is always illegal because if they government find out that they go to prison and or public executions. So, that this year, North Korea government published that you don't use the South Korea language. You only use Pyongyang language. And your child not to give to them South Korea names. So it is still this language persecutions happening in North Korea. Is North Korea language is always limited. That is kind of politics languages. What the government said, that is only their word. So female is not is explained their emotions. The I love this man. I love my children. They never mentioned it. They never expressed this word.
So what would happen to them if they do use South Korean language or name their children South Korean names?
Yeah, they law say that if they use that is 5 years in prison or executions. They said that.
Oh,
Yes, so the last year is in November. Is teenagers they watch the South Korea drama, so they now is in prison. So it's always happening.
how can people help North Korean women inside of North Korea? Do you have any advice on how people can support?
So before I mentioned that is many women is still in prison, So somebody's opened the door is outside, is inside is never opened the prison doors. So all over the world have to understand this North Korea systems because it's North Korea they happening in cultural genocide the last 70 years. They destroy the language, destroy the human rights, and the book libraries is publications, everything, and destroyed is a church. So have to understand these systems and also North Korea 주체 ideology, that is a human hate ideology.
Yeah.
So that's why North Korea is divided these classifications, every citizens, and they hate each others. Yeah, discrimination each others.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to understand the North Korea systems. If we don't understand these systems, we never open this prison door.
Okay. And what I found super interesting was, and this is like it's frozen in time since the Japanese occupation era. There's a lot of anti-Japanese slogans around Pyongyang, right? And it's the government or the dictatorship um, regime is very much very hateful of Japan because of the colonial legacy. And ironically, they support comfort women, the survivors of Japanese military sex slavery. who are, the girls and women from North Korea who are forced into sexual servitude by the Japanese soldiers. So what do you think of that? They're supportive of comfort women, and yet the human rights record is appalling.
Yeah, I know that is in South Korea and also outside the country. So still there's a comfort women is the activities. They continue to speak about these issues, but they never mentioned that is North Korea women's issues, because that time is the we colony in Japan areas, but now is we divided two countries and our war is still not finished. Still not finished. And also China China and North Korea and also former Soviet Union started this war. So now North Korean women and girls selling to Chinese man. Yeah. So that is similar is the comfort women is the Japanese areas, but many people they can't speak about these issues because some is South Korea is they change it every 5 years, change their politics, and some government work with dictators. They never care about the people, and also America is too change the 5 years their politics. So that is politician problems. Politicians still destroyed our human rights. I am really angry about that because it's a universal it's a human rights is published in 1948, but they without the North Koreans. Without the North Korean. Why? It is really angry for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. What would be a solution if let's say hypothetically you had all the money in the world to fix North Korea? How would you go about it?
If we fix North Korea, we divided North Korean government and the North Korean people, because it's government is they different. It's dictatorship and the totalitarian countries. So we just continue to push to them, and we continue to speak to how we change the human rights works, and then we send to them is an international, the court is a crime is a criminal court to send it to them and help the North Koreans. But now is outside the world, never. They always work with the government. That is the problems. The United Nations humanitarian aid, yes, they send to lots of rice and medications last 30 years, but never help the North Korean people. That is always go to government first, and then they reselling the products is outside, and after they make money and made the nuclear weapons and its missiles, and also they destroyed our country's peace. Yeah, so we work to be careful. Money is not helped North Korean people. Money is not help. First is understand the North Korean systems first. Then we don't change our mind. We never have the North Koreans.
So my last question is, what is your message to all women? Today is International Women's Day. And what would your message be to all women? And what kind of hopeful message do you want to impart?
I know it's in the UK also 100 years ago, women they have no vote. Yeah, just only men is vote in publics. So it's the women's always empower and women's changed the history, but still the women's discriminations and women's rights is lot of problems here. So myself, women's the human rights the activities, but I also sometimes really disappeared in this world because women also divided women's the right to work or feminism is different. Yeah. So I know it's a feminism is I really understand for them, but some feminism is never speak about the real women's basic human rights issues. They only speak about the politics, and they work with the politics, and they destroyed another women's rights. Yes, so I want to say messages. woman is really important in this world, and everyone is birth from woman, is another woman. Yeah. So we respect women's. Without the women, this world could be gone. So we respect women and heard women's voice. This is we bring our futures, and we bring to freedom is to our children's is next generations.
So inspiring. Thank you, Jihyun. Is there anything else you want to add? Any other words you want to share with us?
Yeah, I want to add the one more thing is there is the I really thank for my co-writer Seh-Lynn and also you, because you also writing this book is the women's issues. This book is also including the many different survivors' voices. I know that the survivor voice is really important, but sometimes the survivors can't write themselves. So somebody work with us, and somebody find to us our voice and our emotions. Yes, so that is a really important issue. So I am really thankful for you and my co-writer Seh-Lynn, because the Seh-Lynn is to find my happiness again, and the Seh-Lynn is told me you are human. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you so much. I admire you, Jihyun. You are a woman of dignity, strength, inner beauty, and you motivate me and countless others to keep fighting and speaking out and being a voice for all women, especially women who are in desperate need. Thank you so much. And everyone, you must read Jihyun and Seh-Lynn Chai's book, The Hard Way Out, right? Am I saying it right? The Hard Road Out. Get that book. And thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jihyun.